Welcome back to another beautiful day in the land of music. My name is Douglas, and today I'm talking about the Nord Stage 3. What I have here is the Stage 3 Compact. There's the 88 key weighted, the 73 Compact, and the 73. So the difference between the 73 and the 73 Compact is the physical drawbars. So for the B3 organs, the physical drawbars are only on the compact version. The 88 and the normal 73 just have the two buttons on each drawbar and then an LED to indicate where the drawbar is. So the two buttons increase and decrease the drawbar. And I prefer the physical. I play a lot of B3s live. So that's one of the main reasons I got this keyboard, is specifically the compact for the drawbars, the physical drawbars, as well as just Nord's great emulations of the B3 organ. But overall, one of the things I see on the internet a lot and hear talked about is the Nord an overpriced piece of gear that is just popular because it's been on TV, bands use it, it's cool, it's red, or does it actually have value? Is it worth the $4,000 that you're paying for this Nord? So not all of them are they hover between 35 and 42 depending on which model you get. I think this one was around 38 for the Stage 3 Compact. So music, in my opinion, comes down to a couple of things. Number one, and the most important, is your ability to play and your creativity. No matter what you have for a piece of gear, if you're creative and you know how to play, you can play anything. So taking that aside and saying, okay, so now you know how to play, you're a professional musician or you're a seasoned musician that's been playing for a while, that's probably the group that's going to be looking at spending this much on a keyboard. The second thing that comes into play is, do you use it live or studio? And that kind of sways which features you're looking for in a keyboard. And then you look at the controls, and in this case, the Nords are built for live use for the most part, especially the Stage line. So I do a lot of live use, not as much studio. I do some studio, but a lot of live use. And so whether it's in church or in a concert, I use the live functions of a keyboard more than I would studio features. So for me, the important things are tactical controls that I can quickly adjust parameters while I'm playing it live, and then the sound. So what does it sound like? How does it cut through the mix? How does it work into the team and the band that you're on stage with? And maybe you're using it solo. If that's the case, how does it cut through solo? Does it sound full? Does it fit your playing style? So there's a lot of criteria that comes down when you're trying to select a keyboard to buy. So when you talk about the price point of this, it has to be worth it for you from the criteria standpoint, as you specifically as a unique musician. Does it fit what you're looking for? Honestly, I've only had this keyboard for about a month and haven't had a lot of time to dive into it, but I have used it live a couple of times and have played around with some of the performance features, and a couple of sounds have really stood out to me. Number one being the piano. I'm a piano guy. I've been playing for 21 years, and that's my bread and butter. That's what I go to. And so this is what the piano sounds like. This is the Royal Grand 3D. I won't get into too much detail in this video because I want to mainly talk about the keyboard itself and why I bought it and why you should or shouldn't buy this, because it is an investment. By the way, this video is not sponsored. I bought this keyboard with my own money, and because of that, I had to make the decision, is this worth it as an investment for me or not? So I've got a simple setup here, left and right output direct into my Complete Audio 6 into the computer, and recording it there with no effects, nothing extra. So what you're hearing is straight out of the keyboard. Right now, I'm gonna play the Royal Grand 3D with no reverb, no effects turned on. This is just what it sounds like out of the box. So they give you these octave shift buttons. Obviously, I haven't used this enough to quickly go to them, but if you're playing in just the normal range, you can kind of make use of those octave shifts on a 73 to get a couple of those lower notes in there that you lose out when you're going on a 73 versus an 88. One of the reasons I went with the 73, obviously because I wanted the physical drawbars, you can only get that with the 73 Compact, but I also wanted a bit of a smaller form factor for when I take it on stage and use it live. It's a little easier to transport. So another sound that I use a lot of is a B3. Now the B3 in this I think is great, and on the screen they give you an indication of where your drawbars should be set at for that sound, because obviously these aren't motorized, but depending on what sound you're pulling up, maybe it's a jazzy B3 and you've got the drawbars in a certain configuration, you can see that on the screen when you call up the sound, so you can bring your drawbars down to the right position, so when you start playing, it sounds the way that it's supposed to. It will play the way that you call it up, but as soon as you touch a drawbar, it brings that setting back to where the drawbar currently is. So it's a good idea to get them set to what you see on the screen so that you can play and tweak them as you play. So we've got the rotary speaker emulation here, slow, fast, and then you have off. So I love that sound, especially live. That seems to just cut through the mix. And the nice thing, I won't go into too much detail in the panels. It's easy to dive in. I'll do that in a different video as I start to use this more and learn the features of it. But each section, you've got organ, piano, and synth. Each section has its own volume control. So if you're layered or split, you can actually independently control the volume of the different sections with these 3 knobs, which gives you some great control over the specific sounds that you have called up at any given time. So as you start to look at this keyboard and you say, does it work for me? Do I like the sounds? Do I like the features? Do I like the controls, how it's laid out? And also a very important aspect, does it play well? Do I like the way that the keys feel? Those are some of the factors you need to think about as you go to play this. And what I did is I actually found a music store where I could go and play this in person, because I'm not about to drop $3,800 on something that I haven't done research and I haven't played it and listened to it and determined whether or not it's a good fit for my playing style and the music that I play. So those are a couple of things to keep in mind. In my opinion, this is worth the investment for me. For what I do specifically, it's worth the investment, and especially for live use. Some of the features that they've put into this keyboard are extremely intuitive and quick to access, which is great when you're using it during a performance on stage. So I'll dive into it in more depth in other videos. I promise that new videos are coming. I know I've been silent for a few months, but working on some stuff, working on putting together some videos, because I want to give you guys value. So thank you for being patient with me as I work on videos that actually bring you value and teach you something about the keyboard and about music. So thanks for joining me. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button, and a little bell lets you know when a new video comes on. And subscribe. I'll be putting a playlist together for the Nord, and also putting together a Korg SV1 versus Nord Stage 3 with the sound. So I'm excited about that, to compare the two. I've done some comparisons live, and there is a difference. So I'm excited to share that with you, especially around pianos, electric pianos, and organs, because that's what the strengths of the SV1 is. You've seen my videos on those. If not, go look them up. But doing some comparison videos between the two, if you're trying to decide between the two, hopefully those will help you. So new videos to come soon. Thanks for watching. Never stop playing and never stop learning, because there's always something new around the horizon.